Hi, I'm Paul from the Studio Rats. This is video 3 in the series of recording a song from scratch using Universal Audio's Luna software. Now, we've already recorded a scratch guitar part, some bass and some drums, but what we're going to be doing in this video is recording some extra guitar parts and some percussion. You guys know the score. Don't forget to like and subscribe and you'll be notified of any future videos that come out from the Studio Rats. So let's start with percussion, and I'm going to start recording a tambourine part. Now, if you've got two microphones in your studio, the two microphones that you should have are a large diaphragm condenser mic and a dynamic mic, something like an SM57. The reason why something like an SM57, a dynamic microphone, is so useful in the studio is that you can record lots of different things with high sound pressure levels, things like guitar cabinets and tambourines. So let's record that tambourine part. Now, I've got a track already set up and I'm going to put it in record, and let's bring up the preamp that's in that unison slot. Now, I'm going to be using the UA610 B preamp. Now, whenever you buy an Apollo interface, this is the preamp that you get with it. Now, what we're going to do with this preamp, and the reason why this preamp is so great at recording things like tambourines, is that you can really drive the front end. So what I'm going to do is to turn up the level, say to about 9.5, and I'm going to bring the output level right the way back. Now, by doing this, it's going to give us some extra drive to the front end, and it's also going to soften the transients a little bit. So it's almost going to compress slightly. Okay, let's move it over here a bit, and let's record the tambourine. Now we've recorded that tambourine part, I should probably explain why we've recorded that tambourine part. Basically, what I want to do is to lift up the chorus sections throughout the song. Now, we're still at the writing stage, so all of these parts might still be replaced, and they probably will be replaced, but it's going to help us lift up certain parts of the song just to give a bit more energy to help the writing process. So what we're going to do here is just to trim the front and the back end. And now what I'm going to do is to copy this over to every single chorus part. If you remember, in video 2, we put these markers in, so we know exactly where the chorus parts are. So let's copy this over to the first chorus, second chorus. At the moment, I think I'm going to continue it through the middle 8, but we can check that later on. And let's just copy it to the last chorus as well. Right, let's have a listen to the first chorus, and while we're doing that, we can also bring the volume back just so it fits in the mix a bit better. I'm happy with the tambourine part. Now I want to record an extra guitar part. Now, the reason why I want to record an extra guitar part is because I want to have like a little motif sort of section with the intro. Now, I might also want to copy this part over to the last choruses just to give them a bit of a lift as well. But again, as I said before, all of these parts could be completely wiped out by the time the song's written. These are just to give us more of a lift and to inspire us more for the writing process. Okay, what I'm going to do here is to go to my last guitar track, and I'm going to create a new track. Now, because I'm going through a Universal Audio aux box and I'm using some stereo effects with it, I'm going to choose a stereo track. And let's call this Motif Guitar. The original guitar was using a Strat sort of style guitar, and with this one I'm going to be using a Gretsch. Now, the best way of getting separation from guitars is to use either different guitars, different amplifiers, different effects. So if you haven't got a different guitar, you can just try a different amplifier, or if you haven't got two amplifiers, you can maybe put a pedal in front of the amplifier just to change the sound, change the EQ, or you could even use some of the amp sims that come with Luna. So what we're going to do with this, I'm going to play this guitar part, and then we're going to see how it fits in the mix. Okay, so that part's recorded. Now, I still think we could get a little bit more separation from the guitars. So the original guitar is slightly panned over to the left. So what I'm going to do with this guitar is to slightly pan it over to the right. Now, what you'll instantly hear is that this guitar will feel louder as it's more in the right speaker. So I'm also going to bring it back just a little bit in the mix. Paul from the Studio Rats. I really hope you guys got something out of that. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and you'll be notified of any future videos that come out from the Studio Rats. I'm Paul, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.